As I record this, Tesla stock after hours up $25 a share, almost 12%. Did anything happen today? Were there any events relating to... Oh, that's right, the Q3 earnings. We'll start with a quick recap of the actual earnings report itself and then some highlights from the earnings call, which, by the way, not only blew my mind, but we learned some juicy new details. Incredibly positive for Tesla, not just over the long term, but also the much shorter term. And maybe even one or two huge shocks. A very solid quarter for Tesla in their Q3 2024 update. Here's a few key highlights. And first of all, the numbers with the dollar signs. $2.7 billion in GAAP operating income in the quarter. $2.2 billion in net income. And $2.5 billion non-GAAP net income in the quarter. My favorite line of the financial summaries, a $2.9 billion increase in our cash and investments in Q3 to $33.6 billion. This, by the way, despite aggressive investment, particularly around AI. This was a record Q3 for vehicle deliveries. And importantly, Tesla's costs of goods sold per vehicle came down and is now at its lowest level ever. And a lot of investors seem to have forgotten about this. We already knew it was coming. But Tesla confirming, once again, new vehicles in the pipeline, more affordable vehicles in the pipeline. Quote, preparations remain underway for our offering of new vehicles, including more affordable models, wait for it, which will begin launching in the first half of 2025. Wait, what year are we now? 2024. And what half are we? The second half. Wait, so the first half of 2025 is literally the next half that occurs, a matter of months away. And Tesla's energy business achieving another strong quarter with yet another record gross margin. As I've said in the past, these products, in terms of the revenue produced, typically from the Megapacks, I mean, the Powerwalls count too, but Tesla's big, gigantic batteries, just you're talking about orders in the hundreds of millions, in some cases billions of dollars. Extremely strong margins on these because commercial customers deciding whether or not to buy a gigantic money printer that's going to save them staggering amounts of money are a little bit less rate sensitive than a consumer thinking about buying and or financing a new vehicle. Refresh Model 3 production going well, and importantly, Cybertruck has achieved a positive gross margin. In other words, they're making money on it after the slow ramp. Semi-factory also remaining on track. First builds scheduled to start by the end, but probably at the end of 2025. And again, we're hearing some repetition here. Model 3 refresh, lowest cost of goods sold quarter over quarter. Cost of goods sold in the Shanghai factory also at its lowest level ever. Imagine that, Tesla's costs continually coming down over time. Model Y also dominating, especially in Europe. Tesla's usual current installed annual vehicle capacity table included, importantly, region, various. Wait, I'm going to say that again. Region, various. Next gen platform in development. Someone remind me, which half of which year did they say production of new vehicles, more affordable vehicles, would begin? Wait, yeah, you in the back. Yeah. Wait, oh, okay. So it was the first quarter of literally next year, a matter of months away. Okay, cool. Just making sure I didn't hallucinate that. And Tesla AI continuing to grow exponentially. Both the data, which is critically important to improving capabilities of FSD. I mean, look on screen now. And importantly, Tesla AI training capacity. These are the two ingredients required to nail autonomy. A huge amount of data and a huge amount of training compute, which will ultimately cost probably tens of billions of dollars. Any company with enough money can buy the training compute, assuming they can negotiate to actually take delivery of the things. But you can't buy the data from anyone, at least not now. I suspect most people are going to be flipping out about Tesla gross automotive margins, free cash flow, blah, 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 this quarter, the automotive business, and probably the energy as well, and completely ignoring Tesla's incredible AI progress. I mean, again, I don't see them not taking a massive slice of the decatrillion-dollar autonomy opportunity. Tesla's energy business trending strongly in the right direction in terms of profitability now. And that trend most certainly will continue. And look at the insane growth in Tesla energy storage deployments. So excuse the pun, but Tesla firing on all cylinders. Now, just to sum up Tesla's outlook. Volume. Our company is currently between two major growth waves. The first one began with the global expansion of the Model 3 and Y platform, and we believe the next one will be initiated by advances in autonomy and the introduction of new products, including those built on our next generation vehicle platform. Tesla also expecting slight vehicle delivery increases for the full year, despite the tough macroeconomic conditions, and energy storage deployments expected to more than double year over year in 2024. This approach will result in achieving less cost reduction than previously expected, but enables us to prudently grow our vehicle volumes in a more capex efficient manner during uncertain times. This should help us fully utilize our current expected maximum capacity of close to 3 million vehicles. enabling more than 50% growth over 2023 production before investing in new manufacturing lines, which obviously will produce the next gen vehicles. And finally, our purpose-built Robotaxi product will continue to pursue a revolutionary unboxed manufacturing strategy. And again, to be clear, that is the next gen platform. Finishing up with a couple of charts and photos. Global battery electric vehicle market share over the last 12 months. This is trailing 12 months. You see there was a very slight blip here, almost perfectly lining up with interest rates heading to the moon, but well, seem to be trending up again. Some sick images of Tesla's Cybercab. And how good does this thing look? Not just from a Tesla investor's point of view, but just from a product point of view. The size of this, I mean, it's just such a smart design. I've been over this, so I won't rehash it on the earnings recap, but bro, incredible. And the Robo van, what an incredible looking product. Oh, by the way, the wireless charging, rest in peace, MKBHD. If you know, you know, and if you don't, I won't even elaborate. Now, the recap from the earnings call, by the way, make sure you're sitting down for this. Actually, don't sit, sitting's bad. Get a standing desk. Opening remarks from Elon. Musk pointing out that much of the automotive industry is currently seeing year-over-year declines in terms of vehicle sales. By the way, some of the big boys, we're talking like 10, 15, 20+% year-over-year declines, despite the fact that their CEOs don't have extremely controversial opinions and aren't particularly involved politically. Tesla, on the other hand, achieving record deliveries. This was a record Q3 and they're on track for record annual deliveries. While the rest of the auto industry, flat and or some seeing major double-digit percentage declines. Remember, Tesla does not exist in a vacuum. Musk also pointing out that as far as he's aware, no other electric vehicle company or even an electric vehicle division of any other automotive company is profitable. Just Tesla. Tesla having recently produced their 7 millionth vehicle. The energy business continuing to grow like wildfire. And at Tesla's We Robot event, where we saw the future of autonomy, there were literally thousands of fully autonomous drives in both the Cybercab plus Model Ys, driverless, and there were 0 incidents. Plus, we got to see Optimus robots walking among the crowd. Now, some bombshells. More affordable vehicle models are on track to begin production in the first half of 2025. I do just want to underscore this again. More affordable models, keyword there, modules, plural, are literally on track to begin production in the first half of next year, says the guy currently recording this in late October of the current year. Musk also admittedly caveating that this could be risky, predicting that Tesla could see a 20 to 30% increase in vehicle delivery growth next year, unless, of course, the shit hits the fan, there's a war. I mean, probably also if Kamala gets elected, well, all bets are off. Now, another important note, Cybercab volume production in 2026, not starting production. This is reaching volume production. Speaking of Cybercab volume, this was nice to hear. Some numbers. Tesla expecting initially to be targeting 2+ million units per year of Cybercab production, which, by the way, their entire business today is a little under 2 million a year. But ultimately, maybe 4 million Cybercabs produced per year. More on this later in the recap. We also learned that the 4680 cell, shout out to Tesla's battery investor day back in 2020, is rapidly approaching the most competitive cost in North America. I'm just going to emphasize this. Tesla, who are, quote, just a car company, unveiled their designs for a new battery cell, a new form factor, new production techniques just a few years ago, and it's on the cusp of being the most cost competitive battery cell produced in North America. Obviously, e.g. in China, you've got much lower labor costs, so a little bit hard to compete with that. But just imagine a company who apparently just are a car company decides to enter the battery cell production industry, and they're close now to having the most cost competitive product. How embarrassing for battery companies. FSD version 13 will be rolling out soon, and Tesla are expecting to see a 5 to 6 times improvement in miles per intervention versus 12.5. Another very juicy bombshell. Tesla's internal expectation is that there will be more miles per intervention than a human in the second quarter of next year, maybe the third quarter. Okay, so I'm just going to emphasize this again. I'm doing this a lot in today's earnings call because there's so much juicy shit with massive implications. Let me translate. Tesla internally estimate, based on the data that they are collecting, that they are seeing, that their vehicles running the latest version of FSD are likely to be safer, as measured by miles per intervention, than humans in the second quarter of next year, maybe the third quarter. This is an incredibly important threshold in Tesla's own internal estimates. No sandbagging here. Second quarter, maybe Q3. Huge. They've also seen roughly a 100x, that's 2 orders of magnitude improvement in interventions per mile for the year. Musk also pointing out that for every significant improvement in FSD, Tesla will actually roll out a 30-day trial. He then goes on to explain that the FSD take rate has improved substantially, especially after their, quote, disappointing 1010 autonomy event. Isn't that interesting? We also learned that Tesla has been developing their ride-hail app in the Bay Area for employees to use. So people kind of a little bit wondering, how does this roll out? Well, this is the clearest indication, the way that this begins to roll out. Tesla's already been working on this app for years, is that Tesla employees in the Bay Area, in California, are the first users of this app. Great way to roll it out. We also heard again that Tesla is expecting to roll out their ride-hailing service to the public in California pending regulatory approval and or politically motivated stifling of Musk and his companies and their ability to progress. So California should be first in terms of the safety profile because they've got the most data there, but could take a little longer because it is California. And Texas next year, and maybe some other states by end of year. So we just heard earlier, Tesla expecting miles per intervention, safer than a human, second quarter, maybe third of next year. Expecting to roll out their ride-hailing to the public in at least 2 states in the United States also next year. This is huge. And as we know, this will be a, quote, profound change in Tesla's business at that point. We also learned that Tesla is currently not training compute constrained. The big challenge now is actually getting enough data because there's so few interventions of any substance per mile. It's really hard for Tesla to eke out additional improvements because you've got to test this scenario versus that or encounter those really rare cases. Good problem to have, being so far ahead, you can barely find any things to train on. Also more on Optimus, seeing a massive improvement in dexterity and movement shown at the Wii robot event. And a new hand is on the way. Musk also saying something that was a total shock to me. I've never said this exact same thing. We are the only company that has all the necessary ingredients to scale humanoid robots. Other companies are missing the AI brain, which, by the way, in my opinion, is the most important piece of the puzzle. Plus, they're also missing the ability to scale to very high production. By the way, I just want to be clear, scaling to very high production, also an incredibly difficult challenge. So to summarize, again, I completely agree. I've been saying the exact same thing, especially on the brain. Tesla is the only company that has the necessary ingredients to successfully scale humanoid robots. Elon's right. And as he says, Optimus will likely be the most valuable product ever made. We also heard that the energy business, which is thriving and highly profitable and still growing at a rapid rate, is likely to eventually reach output in the multiple terawatt hours of storage per year. Don't sleep on Tesla Energy. Now, don't tell this to Craig Irwin, but Tesla is focused on building the future of energy, transport, robotics, and AI. And it's easy if you watch Tesla content all the time, you're immersed in this world to kind of forget what this means, but it's worth underscoring. This company is focused, and by the way, likely to be dominant, not just in terms of the future of energy, which itself is a multi-trillion-dollar disruption, but also the future of transportation, a decatrillion-dollar opportunity, robotics, potentially multi-quadrillion-dollar opportunity, and AI. Has there ever been a company like this going after so many enormous opportunities? By the way, the answer is no. None. Not even close. This is crazy. Musk wrapping up with this. If we execute well, quote, my prediction is Tesla will become the most valuable company of all time. Funnily enough, I tend to agree, hence still buying with every spare cent. And some further comments here as well. Obvious things are obvious, but due to currently high interest rates, people are holding on to vehicles for longer, especially in the United States, which is actually the perfect storm. Rates come down, more affordable electric vehicles entering production in the first half of next year. Suddenly people who've really been holding on to their old vehicle, they were planning on replacing it, and then rates went through the roof. Like, oh, okay, now's the time. Perfect storm brewing. The energy pipeline and backlog continue to grow. Tesla's still making massive investments into AI and are expecting their 2024 capital expenditures to exceed $11 billion. On to retail investor questions. By the way, there were some questions that, oh man, so many things that were already discussed that were answered, and it's like, is it some way to just pre-vet the questions and just delete anything that's already been covered? Such a waste of time. Now, when asked about a $25,000 vehicle, this is actually a massive, massive moment. Musk stating that, quote, the future is autonomous. More on this in a moment. He came back to that after a few more points. He also points out that Tesla is currently making approximately 35,000 vehicles a week, and Waymo's entire fleet is a fraction of that number. Also some low-key trolling. Tesla taking a few shots at how fucking butt-ass ugly Waymo vehicles are, and not in a like Cybertruck different kind of way, but like a just butt-ass ugly kind of way. And the Cybercab manufacturing process may be half an order of magnitude better than other auto manufacturing processes. And by the way, this is something that you can't really just magically start copying instantly, because the machine that builds the machine is how this is achieved. In other words, Tesla's going to have a staggering cost advantage in producing their Cybercab. But now back to the $25,000 future vehicle. A regular $25,000 vehicle model is pointless given autonomy. It would be essentially a hybrid model with a steering wheel and pedals, which makes no sense. So this is big, folks. Now, as I've said, I think over the long term, Tesla had two approaches here. They either do release a subsequent generation of vehicles to sell to consumers, e.g. the $25,000 vehicle, or they just continue to drive the price of the Model 3 and Y down far enough that they eventually reach the equivalent price. That seems to be what's happening now. Tesla all in on autonomy. That being said, the Cybercab will cost on the order of $25,000. So it is the $25,000 car. And if you really wanted to, you could buy one and use it exclusively for yourself. But with the shift toward autonomy, it doesn't make sense to have a dedicated $25,000 consumer vehicle with steering wheel and pedals sold to consumers that isn't intended to specifically and dedicatedly, is that a word? Operate as a robotaxi. This also speaks to Tesla's confidence in how close they are to solving autonomy. So to recap this, Tesla's next generation interim vehicles, implementing some of the learnings from the Cybercab manufacturing system, entering production first half of next year, that's it. They're seemingly then going to continue to drive the cost to produce those down, pass those cost savings on. They ultimately will eventually reach a price point comparable to $25,000. But the Cybercab is the $25,000 vehicle. You want one? Great, you can buy it. No steering wheel and pedals, you want to drive it? You can't. You can use it exclusively if you want, just don't put it on the network. And given the scale of the autonomous opportunity, this does make sense. And just wrapping up with more obvious things being obvious, Tesla's semi-cost advantage is so ridiculous that for companies who currently operate diesel trucks, it's a total no-brainer. When asked about the rollout of autonomy, Musk also pointed out that, assuming there's no funny business, and Orange Man Bad is the next president of the United States and Elon is involved in the Department of Government Efficiency, he may be able to have a hand in removing some of the regulatory bullshit holding all companies, not just Tesla, back from rapidly rolling out autonomy. Another of the many reasons a Trump presidency would be potentially amazing news for Tesla. We also hear something that's pretty funny to think about. Tesla is winning on almost everything they're doing, and they're likely to win on everything. And I could rattle off a few things. You got batteries, you got energy storage products, you got electric vehicles, you got autonomy. I could keep going. What's hilarious is that Tesla is outdoing other companies on things that are the only thing the other company does, e.g., let's say batteries, or let's say autonomy, or electric vehicles. Just really speaks to Tesla's incredible ability to execute. We also heard an interesting comment, a Peter Thiel quote about the future not having flying cars, and then a suggestion, well, maybe so. I don't even know what was going on there, but put a pin in it. Flying cars. Now, my favorite moment of the entire earnings call was actually when there's like 3 minutes left. We hear, well, in the last few minutes of the earnings call, we'll try to get in some analyst questions. This is nice to see, a deprioritization of the analyst questions. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a couple of analysts who do ask pretty good questions, but a lot of them really boring, really boneheaded, really dry, and just a waste of everyone's time. So as I wrap up recording here, Tesla stock's still up nearly 12% after hours. Why? Apparently a lot of money going into the stock after hours, possibly because people have realized there is a light at the end of the tunnel and Tesla's future is extremely bright. I sure am glad I panic sold all my stock because Elon bad and Elon's opinions and Elon endorsing Trump and it's the end of the... Oh, wait, hang on. Selling your Tesla stock because of that would have been really fucking dumb and embarrassing, actually. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. Just got my AG1 in the mail, legit feeling the effects after day 3. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR or I can keep going. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.